All right, turn 3. First, I'm going to roll to see what reinforcements may come in for this group. I'm going to roll 3 dice. This is turn 3, and this time on a 1, 2, or 3, they'll get some reinforcements. And they're only going to get 1. And so this time, I'm going to say 1 or 2 will be light cavalry, since 2 of the light cavalry are on. 3 or 4 will be some of the Flemish pikemen, and 4, 5, or 6 will be more peasants. And they're going to get more cavalry. So now we'll see which of the roads they will come in on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3. So they'll come in here. All right, so these guys are not going to move, which means that their movement markers will fall off. They're glad to see the cavalry show up. All right, so I'm going to declare moves, and then I'm going to roll initiative to see who moves first, because that could depend on the cavalry. So I'm going to roll my fate dice, fudge dice, whatever you call them, to determine if this group decides to go ahead, take the fatigue, and charge while they have the heavy cavalry in column and maybe catch the bowmen, or if they try to rest since they've marched so hard to be here. Same with this group. So on, if they do anything with a plus and no minus to counter it, they're going to charge. This group, they will need a double plus to charge because they've got rough terrain here. Anything else, and they will both rest. All right, so for this group, they're going to charge. This group, they're not going to charge. And so that'll take their fatigue markers off. So this group is going to charge. They're going to wheel a little to stay out of the rough terrain. So they'll have to move about 2 there. Well, now I need to roll initiative to see which of these does first, because this group may also choose to charge. In fact, let's see if they do. Since they are in column, they're not likely to, so again, they'll need a double plus like this group did. And so they're not going to charge. So let's see who has initiative to move first. This will be for this group, and this will be for this group. This group moves first. So with the cavalry on the field, this group is going to move, they're going to make a formation change. They're going to move from line to column, which will be something like this. All right, so they are in column. Well, from column to line, excuse me. And that's a move, so that's going to be another fatigue marker. That takes their full move. Now each of these groups, they could move and fire, or they could stand firm and fire, or they could move and try to fire. So break out the fudge dice again. So on a double plus or a plus, they will fire from their current positions. On a neutral, they will just move. They will move halfway and then fire. And if they do a negative or double negative, they will simply move. They're trying to make way for the Swiss here. So this group, the positive and negative, so they're half move and fire, half move and fire. they're going to just move, and they're going to fire. So again, you've got 12 firing at this group. Will pass through fire, but these guys are not moving, so yeah, they'll go ahead and fire. Well, let me see here. Hold on. All right, so let's do the movement first. I'm getting ahead of myself. So they're going to move half their move to start with. That will put them about here with the intent to do their full move. This group is going to move just half with the intent to fire when they get to the end. And this group will do the same. You wouldn't think flat terrain would be such a pain, but it is. And this group is just going to straight up fire. That's going to be passed through fire as these guys charge. So since they are going to all end up moving here, go ahead and give them their... Let's see, this is turn 3. They should have... They moved each of the previous 2 turns, and they moved turn 4, so they actually should have 4 markers and not just 2. This group is not moving, so they will lose their movement markers. Ooh, I am creating all kinds of chaos here. So this group, they can move up to 24. They can charge more than that. So let's mark where they started. I'll mark it over here so I can move them. They move up to 45. They can charge up to 45 degrees. So we'll let that be part of a wheel. Alright, so that was, say, about 2. And then they got 12 for their half move, but they are going to catch a piece of that. Well, let's see, we'll charge and wheel and charge. I'm not sure that's allowed, but I'm going to do it because they're not turning that much. So that's 7 to there. And then they will turn another 2 back, so that would be a total of 11 out of their 12 here. And I'm going to say that they fit between that gap. I know that's being a little generous. And then so 1 more. Well, actually, with their charge, they get an additional... Let's see. For charge, it's 30, not 24. So they got another 4. Is that enough to make contact? Not quite enough. That's quite short to making contact. So they're going to be right on top of the bowman. And that is their 5th move, so they are now fatigued. So we'll mark them as fatigued. So that's going to reduce the effect of their charge. So we'll move that over so if we need to measure where they started from. So let's go ahead and finish the rest of these moves. So this group will move. They can move up to 6. Which will put them right on the tail of these guys. And the same here. This group will move up. And then we'll let them wheel. Because they're going to have to try to get around this log jam. And so that gives each of them 4. So they're going to have to make a decision next turn as well. I gave them their 4. So now we do the missile fire. So we've got 12 firing at this group. So one group of 10 and one group of 2. So the group of 10 will do 4 casualties, and the group of 2 will do 1 casualty. So a total of 5 casualties from this group. That's still not 25% due to excess casualties. So no morale check needed there. At this point, they are charging here. These 2 groups need to make a morale versus a charging cavalry. Okay, back it up. I got to do one more thing before we complete that charge. I got to move this other group onto like cavalry onto the board here. They'll be coming on from that edge, and their full movement plus their road bonus will enable them to get essentially all the way to here. And because they started at the same time as the others, they're going to be coming in with 3 movement markers. Not yet fatigued, but moving in. And I realize I moved these guys their full movement, and I shouldn't have, because they need to have their move, but that's not going to put them in any imminent danger of missile fire or charge. So now we got to do pass-through missile fire if these guys are capable, because they have a shot on the front rank, basically. So now we come to the good part. Are the peasants going to act? To attack Lightfoot, they need to roll a 6 or better on 2d6. And they did. So now they will fire. Arbucuses are different from, I guess I should figure out how to look up how to say that. They are different than regular missiles. Let's see. Are they able to? They can have a 45-degree angle. They do not have the ability to indirect fire over interposing troops' heads. And so, can all these guys shoot is the question. We know they have range. But this group right here, let's see, that's 9 degrees, so 45 degrees would be about there. They're not going to have range. This group, they are going to be just short. So we're only going to have 4 firing. 4 firing, but each Arbucus can kill any figure they hit. And they will hit on a 5 to 6. So we roll for each figure. So we've got 4 looking for 5s and 6s. 1 6, so 1 kill. And their rate of fire is once every other turn, so they will not be able to fire next turn. So let me mark them as having fired. That'll be our fired marker there. So they did fire. So now, well, actually, these guys probably could have conducted indirect fire. Let me take a look at that. Give me just a second. Okay, no, for indirect fire, they have to be more than 3 inches from their fellows, so they're right on top of those guys. So that's not going to be indirect fire. So fired there. We fired there. These guys will fire now. And then we'll finish the charge. Well, no, we have to finish the... Yeah, this is... No, this is not pass-through fire. This could be pass-through fire because they could have shot at them. Actually, they could have shot at them as well. So let's see here. On a 1, 2, or 3, these guys will fire there. On a 4, 5, or 6, they do pass-through fire there. These guys, it'll be on a 1, 2, 1 or 2, they were firing there. On a 3 through 6, they react and pass through fire there. So we'll do them first. They need a 1 or 2 is here. Pass through fire. These guys, even Steven, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Firing there. All right, so they will fire at the end of movement. They will do their pass through fire now. It's the same as the previous group. A 1 to 10 and a group of 2. A group of 10 and a group of 2. Group of 10 does 5 casualties. Group of 2 does 1 casualty. So that's a total of 6 casualties. And that count can't be right because they just did... No, they did 5 last time. Yep, that's right. All right, so these guys have now lost 25%. So this group is charging. They take a lot of arrows, and now they need to roll an 8 or better on 2d6, or they will be removed from the table. I've got a lot of dice here. And with a 12, they continue the charge. So now these guys need to make that morale check against charging. Someone charging them. So Lightfoot being attacked by light cavalry, light horse, need a 5 or better. They get it. They make it. Heavy horse need a 3 or better. They make it. So now this group, they're face to face here. Bang, bang. We're going to count them as over. This guy's in the back, so he's not going to count. These guys, let's make sure they would have reached 30 inches. Oh yeah. They'll make it all the way to the end of the board if required. All right, so they're nose to nose. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Essentially 7 on 7 here. So they're fatigued. They're attacking the next lower value. So armored foot versus heavy horse. 1 die per 3 men. So they're going to get 2 dice. And on a 6, they get a kill. 1 kill. All right. Now the heavy horse fight back against light horse at 2 dice per man. So we had 7. So 14 dice. with the 6 killing. So that was not a bright idea by the light horse. Alright, so here's the first 7. 1 kill. And here's the second 7. 1 kill. So the light horse kind of get a little lucky, but they kind of don't, because that's going to drop them to 50%. So they're doing probably a couple of different morale checks. Now this group here, Armored Foot, since they're -1 due to fatigue, versus Light Foot, 1 die per man, 4 to 6 kills. So we got 5, 3, 4, 5. 2 kills. Just pull them off the back. And then, let's see, Light Foot versus Light Horse. Now they also defended the next lowest value. So Light Foot versus Armored Foot 1 die per 3 man, 6 kills. So 2 dice, 6s, looking for 6s. 9. Alright, so we're going to do the post melee morale phase. And this is probably not going to go well for our light cavalry here. They lost 5 from melee. Their enemies combined lost 3. So that's a difference of 2, which is going to be multiplied by 6. These two groups combined, their troops are a total of 23 here, 22 here. That's 45 compared to 11. This guy is still in the back rank, I believe. No, not 11, 13. 2, 3. Nope, that's right, they lost 1. So that's a total of 12. So 45 to 12, the difference is 33. So because of their fatigue, their value is just 5. So 5 times 12 is 60. These guys alone, 22, excuse me, times 4 is 88. 88 minus 60 is 23. So the difference of 23 so far, plus the 33 difference in because of losses. So we're up to 50. I'm sorry, 88 minus 60 is 28. And then the 33 due to difference in losses cranks that up to 61. Plus the 12 is 73. And the heavy horse count as 9 each. So that's going to put them, that total is going to be well over 100 difference. So this unit surrenders post melee. But that's not all, because this group with that attack got reduced to 50%. So they're going to need to make another, so that's the second 25%. So it's going to need to make another instability due to excess casualties to see if they simply disappear off the board completely. They need to roll an 8 or better simply to just surrender. And they don't, so they are gone. And with that, we'll mark these units as having fought melee. And I just realized I didn't move these guys the rest of their movement. So we're going to go ahead and rectify that. And then that'll finish up round 3. Not in great order. And we'll have to fix that before round 4. And we'll clean up the board and we'll move to turn 4. Alright, so when cleaning up, I realized I cheated these guys out of some movement. I didn't bring this last unit on, which I was supposed to. And their move is not 12, it is... Well, their move is 12. So yes, they move 6 in rough terrain. So I think I just moved them 6, 12. They need to be up a little further. They need to be up a little. Well, they're running into the back of that group, so they will not be able to move. So, yeah. So this group, and these fatigue markers go with them. This was their first move because they had to wait off the battlefield for room to come on. So they're getting their first movement marker here. All of these have 4, including them. And they have none because they didn't move the last turn. They didn't move. They just moved in, but they had moved before. And yeah, so now the battlefield is ready for turn 4.